Happy Mounjaro Monday! Yay! Oops, I just knocked over my book. Yay! My name is Gina, and I am your big sister from another mister who's been on a Mounjaro journey for 22 weeks now. And I am here today to answer any question you may have. If you've never taken a GLP-1 and you're thinking about it and you have some questions before you give it a shot, go ahead and ask me whatever you'd like. Or if you're on the journey and you have any questions, I am here to answer any of those questions for you. I'm not a medical professional, but I have been on this journey, and I am here to share what life has been like for me on Mounjaro, as well as any information that I find when I do some researching about Mounjaro and Zepbound. So anyway, go ahead and pop in the chat. Let me know that you're here and maybe where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in there. And today I'm going to give myself my shot. I do that every Monday live, as long as I can. Because I have had 2 surgeries in 22 weeks, which has slowed down my weight loss some, because with both of these surgeries, I had DNC because I had some postmenopausal bleeding and they needed to see if there was any cancer or anything weird in my uterus. And I had some atypical cells. And so I ended up having a hysterectomy 4 weeks ago. And that has been a bummer for me to be able to exercise, because each time after I've had these different surgeries, they've said things like I can't lift more than 10 pounds and I'm to be very, very careful, as well as I can't go swimming, I can't take a bath, I can shower, and I can walk. Are the two I can do those, but I can't do a lot of the exercising that I was hoping for. So I'm not losing weight crazy fast because of all the time that I've had to sit around to heal from my surgeries, but I am still losing weight. And each week I will share with you if I gained any weight, if I lost any weight, or if I maintained. And this is week number 22. And I will tell you, after my hysterectomy, I gained a little bit of weight. And I also had a little bit of emotional eating, which I shared last week. Last week's video for week 21, we discussed quite a bit emotional eating, because if you are an emotional eater for either because you're sad or you're lonely or you're mad or you're celebrating and you're extra happy. There's all kinds of emotions that would make you want to eat. I know I'm half Italian and I'm an equal opportunity emotional eater, and I'll eat for all emotions. And I was doing really well when I first started Mounjaro. My first 3 weeks where I was just doing the 2.5 milligrams, which is just a starter dose and isn't even a full therapeutic dose. It was like night and day. It's like it totally shut off the switch in my brain to make me think about food. It was really a miracle to me. But at that point in time, I didn't have either of my surgeries yet, and it really just took care of all of that food noise. But after my hysterectomy, before I found out, which I'm very, very excited, I do not have cancer. I had a lot of precancerous cells in all the stuff they took out, but nothing was cancer. And so I will never have ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, any kind of uterus cancer. I won't have cervical cancer. I can't have any of those cancers now because all those pieces are gone. They're not in me anymore. But I had a high probability of having those cancers a year from now if I wouldn't have done anything. So I'm also your big sister from another mister who, if you have any questions about menopause, I promise I will answer them to the best of my ability, because women don't talk about that very much either. And guys need to know about it too, because you know what? They have moms. I mean, every guy's got a mom, you know, they have moms, they have sisters, there's wives. It's just important to know things like if you go for a full year without having a period and you're like in menopause, yay, you're never going to have periods again. And all of a sudden you bleed even a teeny tiny bit, you need to see your doctor because that could be a first sign of cancer, but it also can be other things. And for me, I lucked out. It wasn't cancer yet. It was just some precancerous polyps and fibroids and things. So I ended up being a-okay. Oh, and I'm so glad I see some of you are already typing in the chat. That's so awesome because I am going to be answering any questions that you have during this live. And I'm also going to give myself my shot during the live. And I will tell you, oh, wait, see, where was I? I'm sorry. I think I've been having more brain fog lately. I don't know if it's because I'm missing my ovaries, if it's a more menopause thing, or I don't know. I'm just getting a little older. But I was on track to say something about emotional eating. Oh, emotional eating, Mounjaro can't cover it. If you have extreme emotions, to me, it doesn't touch it, and I can get my crazy hungries back when I'm feeling emotional.
What if your husband gives you a hug?
Oh, well, thank you. I like hugs.
Okay.
So anyway, I did have a little bit of that after my hysterectomy before I found out I didn't have cancer. So I was still worried about possibly having cancer. And my one of my stitches broke open a little bit when I crawled into bed, tummy first instead of tush first. And boy, for the next couple of days, I was so hungry. While I was eating, I was thinking about what I was going to eat next. And I haven't felt that since December before I did Mounjaro. So for those of you who are emotional eaters, we have to do other things to help us with that, because Mounjaro isn't enough for emotional eating for stopping that. That's been my experience, and I've been finding that out from some other people too that are on Mounjaro or Zepbound. Okay, hey, you look awfully cute. Look, we got our little matching. Oh no, I'm wearing my regular Anchor Moment shirt. You're wearing our Anchor Moments RV shirt.
Yep.
Yay, you look so cute.
Thanks.
Do you have any special messages to give people before I give myself my shot?
Nope. Give yourself your shot.
Okay. Hey, I hope you don't mind, Jeff, but I have not given myself my shot on my tummy for I had my hysterectomy 4 weeks ago, and so I've avoided my stomach. I've just been doing my arm and my leg, but I'm going to try my stomach today, and I can show you if you've had a robotic hysterectomy, or you're going to need a robotic hysterectomy. It's the teeniest, tiniest little incisions. They're so tiny, and they're very, very tiny. My surgeon put tape over my 3 incisions. So I have 3 little pieces of tape, but you can see how incredibly little it is. I'll stand back here, see? I have 3 left. They're just starting to come off. And then the one in my belly button fell out when it did all that bleeding that one time. But it's healed up really well. You can't even tell that there was something in there. But that's where the robotic things went in. So it's just the tiniest incisions. And today, are you being a robot? And so today I'm gonna do my shot in my stomach, but I'm gonna do it up high. I'm gonna do it higher than where my incision things are. When you give it to yourself in your stomach, you're supposed to do at least 2 inches away from your belly button, but you can go all the way around, anywhere all the way around. But I think today I'm going to do above it. So I'm going to clean things off with an alcohol wipe. Super important when you give yourself your shot. You absolutely, the very first thing you do, other than cleaning off an area, is you've got to take off this gray lid. If you do not take off the gray lid first, it ruins the shot. And these shots can be very expensive, so you don't want to ruin your shot. So first you take off the gray cap, then you turn from lock to unlock, And so I'm going to give it a twist. There we go. And I cleaned right about here. No, strangely enough, it sounds like it would be so awful, but it's not. I'm going to push this button and I have to hold it until I hear a second click.
That was like 3 seconds.
Nope. And I've got just the teeniest little dot. It didn't even really bleed, but I got a teeny little dot where the needle went in, so it really went in. Yay! So easy. Didn't hurt at all. Easy peasy. Now, one of my friends, I like to watch a lot of people on the internet who are also on a Mounjaro journey. And there's a gal that does, her name is Allie, and she does Fit Flavor Fun, I believe is the name of her channel. And she, for the last 4 weeks, has only been giving herself a shot in her stomach. And she said that for her, it's more powerful there. And it's so powerful for her in her stomach that it's making her really not want to eat. And so she's worried it's made her so much not want to eat that it's kind of freaking her out a little bit. And so she's going to switch and go to other places because you still need to eat something. You don't want to not eat.
You can't see my head anyway.
You can head out. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I love you. Oh, can you bring me my water bottle?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So anyway, that's why I decided, I haven't been doing my stomach lately. I've kind of skipped that. So I'm going to go back and try to give myself a shot in the stomach. I've not noticed a difference. I've done my stomach, my arm, and my thigh, which are the 3 places you can give yourself a shot. And for me, I've never noticed a difference. But for her, she said if she did it, because she did it 4 weeks in a row. And then all of a sudden it was like, so that she could really tell a big difference. So I'm gonna do an experiment and see if it makes a difference for me too. And thank you for the water.
You're welcome.
I also I read all of your comments and I really think about you, and I really take it seriously when you ask me important questions. There's a gentleman from England, from the UK. His name is Chalky, and he wrote, I believe, on my I do an Atomic Habits book club on Sundays as a live, and he wrote in a comment, not while I was doing the live, but the day after I did the live, he wrote in the comments that he was on his 6th week of taking Mounjaro, and it was his 2nd week of doing 5 milligrams, and he can hardly eat, like really can hardly eat, that he's only able to eat 3 or 4 bites of food, and that's it. And he mentioned on there that he's also feeling a little dizzy at times. Okay, I am not a doctor. However, I'm old. I have a lot of life experience. I'm 57 for 1 more month. I'm 57. And I used to work at the YMCA. Back, there was a high school was on our treadmill, and he was working out really hard, running, and he had the incline up really high, and I believe it was in the morning, and he was just working his little heart out, and he literally worked his heart out. He didn't have any breakfast. He was dehydrated. And I don't know how long he had worked out, and I don't know if he ate anything the day before, but he collapsed in our YMCA and fell to the ground. Now, my YMCA is a mile away, not even a full mile away from a fire station, and we're 2 buildings over from the hospital. So, I mean, if you're gonna drop to have a heart attack or a stroke or something, my YMCA is the place to do it, because you're going to get emergency help crazy fast. But that high school kid, he was so dehydrated, and he had no potassium and no sodium in him. So when the ambulance, or when, well, the ambulance probably came too, but when the firefighters came, they put the paddles on him to try to get his heart to start back up again, and they couldn't. They couldn't. And he was normally a young, healthy kid. You have to have something in your body. You have to have water. Number one, you have to have water. So you need to be drinking water. You also need, you don't need a crazy amount of salt in your diet or whatever, but you need a little bit of sodium and a little bit of potassium and a little bit of water. If you don't have those three things, your heart can't function. So it's so important to all of you out there. If you can't eat because you've titrated up to the next level, or your body's having a hard time adjusting in the beginning, and if you can't eat hardly anything and you're feeling dizzy, you need to have something around you that has some electrolytes. Like Gatorade, have a little bit of Gatorade. Or, you can't always have like a big plastic bottle maybe with you at work or wherever. But there are a lot of different brands of electrolytes that you can get that comes in a little packet. Like this liquid IV that you can get at Costco, and I believe regular grocery stores have it just in smaller packages. But this has electrolytes in it. And so it's got a little bit of sodium, a little bit of potassium in it. You add it to your water. But if you're feeling a little dizzy, be sure that, and you're having a hard time eating, and you're not eating hardly anything because of stomach upset or whatever, you need to have some electrolytes because it's critical. It could be critical for you. So anyway, that is my piece of advice for week number 22 for everybody is if you're sometimes you'll get a headache too. If you're really dehydrated, you might get a headache. And so water can be helpful. And if you're drinking a ton of water, but you're not eating hardly anything, that can wash away some of your electrolytes. So for me, I also have to watch. I'm not on blood pressure medication yet. I hope I never will have to, and I'll lose enough weight that I'll finally kind of catch up. But my blood pressure has been borderline. Lately, it's been around like in the 130s as my top number. And so it's not the 120. I used to be like 110, but lately it's been kind of creeping up a little bit. So I'm trying not to eat too much sodium because too much sodium can raise your blood pressure too. But I have in my house, I always have a little bit of Gatorade. I've got these liquid IVs so that if I ever did feel a little off, I could have a little bit. And that sometimes really does the trick. And so, so that's just a little bit of advice for me. And you can double check with your doctor, ask your doctor, make sure, because you're just listening to some lady who says she's your big sister on the internet, ask your doctor. But I tell you, it was many years ago when that football player dropped, and I never stopped thinking about him. And every time that I was working at the Y, I really watched people who were on the machines, because if any of them dropped, I wanted to be sure that I could help them, because it was scary knowing that even someone young can die from a heart attack because they didn't eat anything, and while sweating, they sweated out all of their and they weren't drinking enough and stuff, and didn't have potassium and sodium in them. So anyway, that is that's a little advice you got from me today. That's new, that I haven't talked about. I don't think in any of my other videos I've not mentioned it, but it was when Chalky mentioned that he was feeling that he was getting a little dizzy. He was happy that he was starting to lose weight, and that he's kind of a big guy, he said, and he was excited to not be hungry, but at the same time it was weird for him to have such an aversion to food that week and not being able to swallow much, and all of a sudden getting a little dizzy. So I haven't been able to stop thinking about him. And I've been out of the house all day. I've been off doing all kinds of errands and things. And so I haven't had a chance to write back to him, but I will be writing back to him to make sure that he knows to be able to have some electrolytes handy anytime that he feels a little dizzy, that he should try a little electrolytes and let his doctor know, because that can be a sign of something bad too, you know. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with yourself. Okay, let's see what people have to say today. Let me answer some questions. Oh, and one question you might be having is I forgot, have I lost any weight? Have I lost any weight? Last week I told you I had gained almost like 4.5 pounds the week prior, when no one asked me what if I lost any weight, and I forgot to mention, but I had actually had gained 4.5 pounds. Last week I lost 4 of those 4.5 that I had gained from emotional eating after my hysterectomy. And so I was able to take most of it off. Well, this week I lost that 0.5 pound that was extra plus another pound. So now I'm down 22 pounds in 22 weeks. And I feel pretty good about that, because I've been hoping to lose at least 1 to 2 pounds a week, but I haven't lost anything in at least, I hadn't lost anything since my hysterectomy a month ago. But now I've lost a new pound. So I'm excited about that. So now I'm down 22 pounds and hopefully a bunch more, because I'd like to lose almost 100. So we'll see. So I'll be doing this with you guys for a long, long time. Okay. All right. Now let's read what's in the chat here. Oops. I hit something. Here we go. From the top. JP's in the house, and he is my brother from another mother. And he says, I am from Washington State. Hiya, Gina. And so it's the same time for JP as it is for me right now. Washington and Arizona doesn't do the time change ever. So we're always just one time and we never change. And right now we're the same as Washington. So it's getting close to 7:30-ish. And 656 Boxer is in the house. Yay. And says, hi, Gina from South Carolina. Oh, I'd love to go to the Carolinas. I've never been, and both North Carolina and South Carolina are on my bucket list. And Terry Skinner says, hi, Terry from Texas. Well, that even rhymes. I love that. Hi, Terry. And Taz the Bulldog's mom's in the house. Woo, woo. And says, happy Monday. Yay. And Dennis Cruz says, hi, Gina. First time commenting on your videos, but I've been following you since you started Mounjaro. Been on Mounjaro for almost 4 months, and it has been life-changing. It really is, isn't it? Let me know, Dennis, have you lost any weight so far in those 4 months? I know it has been life-changing. And as long as I'm not having extreme emotions, it's taken away my constant hunger, like disappears. I have to think sometimes and remember that it's time to eat. And that's never happened in my life, because I swear I was always hungry and always thinking about food. And now still, if I'm under extreme stress or extreme emotions, but if it's not extreme, then the Mounjaro has been doing the trick for me too. Taz the Bulldog's mom says, Arizona, that's right, my Arizona buddy. And Dennis says, I'm from Houston, Texas, by the way. Oh, fun. Got a couple of people from Texas in the house. And Robin Lockwood says, I'm here. Yay, Robin. Glad to have you. And Dennis says, life-changing. Yep. Brain fog's probably from the anesthesia. It can have some lingering effects. Okay, thanks, Dennis, because it's been more than normal for me. Like yesterday, when I did my live for the Atomic Habits book club, and if anyone would like to join us, it's free. I go live Sundays, 1 o'clock Arizona time, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. for my UK friends. And yesterday, I couldn't remember the word therapeutic, that 5 milligrams or more is a therapeutic dose. I couldn't remember therapeutic for the life of me. And I have said that on so many videos, like, yeah, 2.5 is just a starter dose. 5 grams or more is a therapeutic dose. Couldn't come up with it. Another day, 2 weeks before that, I showed you all my favorite breakfast things that are fast and have protein in them and that have been working really great for me on my Mounjaro journey. And as I was sharing all those breakfast things, I had held up a star because there was a star cookie cutter for cutting out a piece of bread and putting an egg in the center to cook the egg. And then the egg, when you flip it over, it's shaped like a star in the center of the bread, which is kind of cool. I couldn't remember star, that the form of a star is a star. Like crazy, like weird stuff like that, where that's never been an issue for me before. I mean, like a little bit, but not like that. So I've been just a little bit more brain foggy than normal. But I wonder if that is a lingering effect from the anesthesia. Thanks for mentioning that, Dennis. Hopefully it will go away soon. Sandra says, hi, Jeff and Gina. Hi, Sandra. And Deb Zimmerman says, hi, Terry and Jeff. Deb from Las Vegas here. All right, Deb. And I'm going to be going to Las Vegas next month. I'm so excited with family. We're going to celebrate Jeff retiring in July. And Deb says, hi, Gina. Sorry, didn't mean to leave you out. No, never. And Pamela says, are you live right now? Pam, I am live right this second. That's why I'm able to read your thing right out loud on here. So yes, I am currently live. Do you have any questions? Does anybody have any questions for me today? Other than I can tell you, I've lost 22 pounds. So I've lost a new pound this week. Super excited. I'm still having to be careful about constipation. And before I had my surgery, I was every now and again, I was taking a stool softener, Colace, or I would take a serving of Miralax. And my primary care doctors told me that it was safe for me to do that. And if I wanted to take a Miralax every day, I could because it's safe. And I thought, wow, well, that's really good to know. But I thought, well, I don't want to rely on that. So I try really hard to eat at least 25 grams of protein and to drink 70 to 100 or a little bit more ounces of water every day, because that's really important too. But I tell you what, after my surgery, I was taking a Colace and a Miralax dose every day, one of each every day. And that was keeping things regular because after surgery, I know I just have those, I showed you those teeny tiny little slits on my stomach, but there's a lot more incisions and stuff that's bigger inside of me. And I'm not supposed to be using my core muscles doing anything, so I can't push. And so I've been doing that. And this last week I've been feeling better. And I thought, oh, maybe I don't need Miralax anymore. And so I stopped. And then I had an issue with constipation. And so it's a little painful. So I went right back on, and I'm back on doing Miralax every day. And I saw, did anyone else here? Have you guys seen, there's a new commercial for Miralax, and it has a couple of ladies chit-chatting, having lunch. And the one gal has like a little Miralax powder packet, and she's putting it in her drink. And her friend said, I thought you said you're not constipated. And she said, well, I'm not constipated anymore. That women tend to be constipated because we hold our stress. And by holding our stress in, it can constipate us. And she said, I take Miralax every day and I don't have a problem anymore. And I thought, wow, okay, maybe it is going more mainstream. Like my doctor said, that you can do Miralax and it would be okay on more of a daily basis, and not just I don't know, once or twice a year if you have a problem. But definitely still ask your doctor, because everybody here is different. And some of you have other medical conditions and maybe taking some kind of a medication that would be bad to take Miralax at the same time. I don't know. But it is starting to come out a little more mainstream that it's really not too bad for you. So I may be doing that a little bit more when I can't get my dragon fruit. Oh my gosh, dragon fruit does the trick for me. So, but I haven't found dragon fruit for a little while. Yellow dragon fruit's my favorite. And come to find out, one of the things that dragon fruit's really high in is magnesium. And some things like milk of magnesia that can help you poop is magnesium. So it's no wonder that dragon fruit does the trick. Okay, let's see if I have any more questions here. And if not, it'll be a short night tonight. Let's see. I don't have anything since Pam's question right there. Uh, I just say I'm just thankful that you guys are all here. If you wouldn't mind giving a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, if you subscribe and ring the bell, you'll know when I'll be doing lives. You should get some kind of a notification. And I just want to thank you all for being here. You really put joy on this Mounjaro journey with me, and bring joy to my heart. And I really appreciate that. And I do not see that I have any other questions. So I just wish everyone a wonderful week. And Jeff is working 10-hour days. So next week, it'll be about the same time. I think I'm just going to shoot for 7. So if I say 7, people will know when to expect me. So 7 o'clock for the next couple of Mondays. And then Jeff will be retired and I'll be able to do it a little earlier, so it won't be so late for everybody. But the next 2 Mondays, Jeff's working 10-hour days, and he does my thumbnails for me. So anyway, we'll say 7 o'clock those nights, which is 9 o'clock Central and 10 o'clock Eastern. And crazy early in the morning for my UK friends who usually catch me on Tuesday mornings on replay. All right, everybody, have a great week. Bye-bye.